Okay. So, we'll start with the aorta. That's this big arch. And the arteries, for the most part, are going to be red, and the veins are blue. So we're just talking about the red arteries. When we do the pulmonary arteries and the veins, they switch colors, so we'll worry about that when we get there. For now, this is the aorta. It's red. See how there are 1, 2, 3 branches coming off the aorta? This first branch is the brachiocephalic, and it branches off into the right common carotid, which is number 10, and the right subclavian, which is number 11. Now this middle branch is the left common carotid, and then the third branch is the left subclavian. So we have right subclavian, right common carotid, and they came from the brachiocephalic. And then we have the left common carotid and the left subclavian. And after that, was the only thing that's different from the right to left side is this brachiocephalic. After that, it's all going to be the same on either side. Now, coming off of the subclavians, you have the vertebral. They're these little skinny ones on the back of the common carotids, number 21. There's also the thyrocervical, which are number 14. They're these little nubs right here. So it's the thyrocervical. Number 14. 14. Thyrocervical. On the heart itself, I'll use this one because it's kind of easier to see. In the front, right under the right atrium, you have the right coronary there, and that leads to the right marginal, which goes down on the side of the heart. So right coronary, right marginal. The anterior interventricular is right between the ventricles in the front. Then the left coronary is this little short one under the left atrium. And it just turns into the circumflex, which is right here, which then goes down for the left marginal. And then in the back is the posterior interventricular in the back. As the subclavians go out towards the arm, they pass through the armpit, like this. And as the subclavian goes into the armpit, you have the subclavian turns into the axillary. So it goes subclavian across the clavicle, and then in the armpit, it's the axillary. Before the axillary goes into the arm, there's another branch, which you can only see on the charts, which I'll show you later. This branch is where my finger is right now, and that's the subscapular, so you'll see that on the chart. So after the axillary goes into the arm, and it goes down along the humerus, now it's called the brachial. So that's the brachial. The brachial splits into the radial by the radius, and the ulnar by the ulna. And then once it gets into the palm, this network in the palm is called the palmar arch. And then for this model, just falling apart, this is the common carotid right here. So that's this coming up through the neck. This is the common carotid. This one, the littler one, is the vertebral. Right there. And the common carotid splits into the external carotid over here, and the one that goes inside is the internal carotid. And when you look inside of here, the vertebrals go in through the foramen magnum. So these are the vertebrals. They fuse to form the basilar that looks sort of like train tracks. And then they work to form this circle, and the circle is the circle of Willis. Now, see how there's 2 nubs sticking out the front? And there's 2 nubs on the middle and 2 nubs off the back of the circle. The nubs are the cerebral arteries. So the anterior cerebrals are the front nubs, the middle nubs are the middle cerebral, and the back ones are the posterior cerebral. Now the arteries that are part of the circle itself are called the communicating arteries. So this front half is called the anterior communicating, and then the back half is called the posterior communicating. And that's the circle again? Okay, so anterior cerebral coming out the front, and then they kind of broke off a little bit, but they come out the front. Middle cerebral in the middle. Posterior cerebral in the back. Anterior communicating in the front, and then posterior communicating is the back half of the circle.